Today, we conclude our series on happiness. Let's explore what we have learned about happiness in the workplace and how it affects leadership, quality, and performance.
Welcome to Advanced Quality Programs with Juan Navarro. In this podcast, we're going to dive deep into the world of quality and leadership philosophies that drive successful businesses and great leaders to actually apply them to your everyday life. So if you're ready to improve your life, one quality principle at a time, let's get started.
As we reviewed over this podcast series, in past few years, companies have become increasingly convinced that happy employees are the key to better productivity. Many organizations now pour time and money into seminars and workshops that promise happier, healthier, kinder, and more productive workers. But this raises a fair question. Does the science actually back up all this enthusiasm for workplace happiness? The idea itself is not new. Ever since the Hawthorne studies in the 1920s, businesses have wondered whether boosting employees' emotional well-being leads to better performance, and today that curiosity has grown into a full-blown industry. Happiness coaches, team-building retreats, gamified offices, and chief happiness officers. These programs often look fresh and exciting, and many companies jump in with high hopes. But whether they truly improve performance is still up for debate. And the truth is that some research shows that the happier employees tend to stay longer, treat customers better, and contribute to more positive organizational development. On the other hand, plenty of studies find that the link between the job satisfaction and performance is weak and inconsistent. One study of British supermarkets even found the opposite. Stores with less satisfied employees actually perform better financially. Part of the problem is that no one fully agrees on what happiness at work even means. It can refer to pleasure, contentment, ease, or a sense of abundance. Philosophers have debated for centuries, and even modern neuroscience is still nailing down a clear way to measure such a complex emotion. More recently, researchers have started to pointing out that chasing happiness can backfire. One issue is that pressure to feel happy all the time, especially at work, when happiness becomes something that you have to expect to display, not feeling it can lead to guilt, frustration, and a sense that something is wrong with you. And that's actually the opposite of happiness. In fact, some experiments show that simply reminding people how important happiness is can make them feel less happy. So while happiness at work is valuable, it's not a magic solution, and it shouldn't be forced. Companies may get better results by focusing on meaning, fairness, autonomy, and a genuine relationship building. Things that support well-being without demanding constant positivity. Today, many workplaces treat happiness like a moral obligation. Employees are encouraged or sometimes pressured to stay upbeat no matter what. Philosopher Pascal Bruckner points out that unhappiness is often treated as a personal failure rather than a normal human emotion. This creates a subtle but heavy burden, where being positive becomes part of the job performance. It's not just customer-facing roles anymore. Even employees who never interact with customers are expected to maintain a cheerful attitude. But research shows that constant happiness can have downsides, like making people worse at spotting deception or less effective negotiations. In other words, being happy isn't always the best state at every task. And this expectation can also reshape relationships between employees, managers. When people look at their jobs for emotional fulfillment, they may become dependent on their supervisors for reassurance. Without that support, feedbacks can feel more intense, leading to more stress and more vulnerability. These patterns can spill over into personal life too. Some people start using workplace emotional management strategies at home, which can reduce intimacy and make work feel more comfortable than the unpredictability of the personal relationships. And when someone relies on their job for happiness, losing that job becomes far more than financial burden. It becomes an emotional crisis. Therefore, companies may promote happiness because it helps them to avoid deeper issues. Focusing on positivity can make easier to ignore conflict, power imbalances, or structural problems. Dissatisfaction gets framed as a personal attitude problem rather than a sign that something needs fixing at the system. All in all, this suggests that it might be time to rethink the idea that work should always make you happy. Constant positivity can be draining, isolating, and unrealistic. Work naturally brings a mix of emotions, and acknowledging that can lead to a healthier, more resilient workplace, a more resilient culture. When organizations stop demanding happiness, they may actually create more space for a genuine, spontaneous joy and a more grounded understanding of what work can and cannot provide. And that's it for today's episode. And that's also all for our series on happiness. Please do not forget to share in the comments what you learned and how you will approach happiness in the workplace. Thanks for all your comments, your ratings on my books, Life Quality Projects, The Principles of Quality, and now The Quality Mindset. Stay excellent, keep improving, and don't forget to smile.
One small change triggers everything. Watch how agile thinking works. Inspect, adapt, repeat. Each step builds the next, creating confident, unstoppable momentum. This is The Quality Mindset by Juan Navarro. Get your copy now.